The first book I want to talk about is The Famished Road by Ben Okri. This novel was compared to Midnight Children by Salman Rushdie and 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. I haven't read 100 Years of Solitude, but I have read a little bit of Rushdie's work and I really enjoy his writing style. So seeing that comparison made me just feel like this was the novel for me. It seems to mix in Yoruba mythology in addition to creations from Okri's own imagination. It has a very dreamlike, mystical feel to it. So I'm in a very nonfiction mood right now, and I don't get into that mood very often, so I've decided to try and capitalize on that by tackling a long nonfiction read. And that is Political Order and Political Decay from the Industrial Revolution to the Globalization of Democracy by Francis Fukuyama. I purchased this book a few months ago from Book Outlet. I have been wanting to read more and learn more about politics, and I really wanted something that dealt with every single country out there, which this definitely seems to do. So, I'm just going to read from the back of the book because I feel like it summarizes it quite well. Taking up the essential question of how societies develop strong, impersonal, and accountable political institutions, Fukuyama follows the story from the Industrial Revolution to the Arab Spring and the deep dysfunctions of contemporary American politics. He examines the effects of corruption on governance and considers why only some societies have been successful at rooting it out. He explores the different legacies of colonialism in Latin America, Africa, and Asia, and offers a clear-eyed account of why certain regions have thrived and developed more quickly than others. And he boldly reckons with the future of democracy in the face of a rising global middle class and entrenched political paralysis in the West. As soon as I bought this, I started reading the first few pages, and I really like Fukuyama's writing style. The book feels very comprehensive, but also feels very succinct. I feel like a lot of nonfiction books have a lot of fluff. With this, it doesn't feel like that. It feels like every single sentence is there for a reason. Kind of reminds me a bit of reading some works of philosophy. Then I have a second work that is within the politics realm that I want to read. This book is about this litigation that was taken on to challenge the constitutionality of a provision of the Indian Act. While Canada set up its colonial powers, including the Supreme Court, House of Commons, Senate Chamber, and the residences of the Prime Minister and Governor General on her traditional Algonquin territory, usurping the riches and resources of the land, she was pushed to the margins, exiled to a life of poverty in Toronto's inner city. With only beads in her pocket, she spent her entire life fighting back, and now offers an insider analysis of Indian Act litigation, the narrow remedies the court offers, and an important critique of the methodology of legal positivism. Drawing on social identity and indigenous theories, the author offers disenfranchised spirit theory, revealing insights into the identity struggles facing Indigenous peoples to this day. And the last book is called Reservoir Bitches. So this is a collection of short stories, and they are about 13 Mexican women. The first story I read was all about a woman who was going through the process of trying to get an abortion, and the way it was written was just so heartbreaking, but then I also just couldn't put it down. I just needed to know what happened next. This morning I read the second short story, and I was a bit hesitant to read it because it was much longer than the first one. Again, I couldn't put it down. This second short story was about the daughter of a Mexican drug cartel leader, and it was just completely fascinating, mesmerizing, all of the above. Those are the 4 books that I am planning to work through in June. I do have other books that I plan to read. I have one book that I started last month, Girl, Woman, Other, which I have read before. It's a reread for me. I'm like 60% of the way through that, so I do anticipate I'm going to finish that this month. And there also are a few other types of books that I had wanted to read this month, and I couldn't quite narrow it down before making this video, so I do anticipate that there will probably be other books that get added to this. I also wasn't sure how much of a mood I actually would be in to be reading at the moment. Like, I have more free time than usual, but then I also feel like I'm going through a lot in terms of my personal life. So I don't know if I'm always going to feel like reading or not. So I didn't want to make a list that was like very ambitious, and I just gave up on it. So we'll see how well I stick to this. I do actually want to try and do a reading wrap up at the end of the month. I really fell off with doing those, but I do like them because it's like the best way for me to really stay focused on what I'm reading if I have to go back at the end and summarize everything. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to my channel, this channel is all about re-education and decolonizing the mind. I created this channel a few years ago to share what I was learning as I was working on decolonizing my own mind, and I wanted to just share what I'm reading and learning with the world. So if you're interested in following along with me on this journey, feel free to subscribe. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one.